4 more.
I could use that money to fix Dwayne Wade's statue.
You could,
but I'm not gonna.
No, you should get your own statue that looks just as terrible with like guaranteed not your face. Like what's going to happen is you're going to ask the sculpture to fuck it up and then it's going to look perfect and you're going to be upset.
There are 2 ways to guarantee you're screwing something up or something doesn't go right, that you're cursed. It's by giving yourself your own nickname or by making a sculpture of yourself, an idol out of yourself. All right. Someone else decides to do that. Okay.
No, you got to get a giant painting of you naked wrestling a bull right above your office. That actually happened, by the way.
Who hit it?
Which one? The first one when Aaron Judge hit the 2-run bomb, or
the
solo shot that Jazz Chisholm just lifted over?
Jazz has been swinging for the fence for 2 games straight.
2 games straight. He was swinging for the fence for 6 games straight.
Have you really watching 2 games?
That's all right.
I'm not.
Now Judge can go back in his hole and not get a hit for the next 6 months.
He found it.
Judge can go back into his chambers.
Yeah, right. There you go.
Found it. So, I'm not going to get excited yet. It's only the first inning. I've seen this team play, although Garrett Cole is looking really good right now. 5-pitch first inning. But I'm not going to get excited yet. I'm going to save those emotions for Friday and Saturday.
There you go.
When I'm not in a hotel room by myself, trying to make sure I don't yell too loudly.
Hey, I posted a video of me by myself on our Facebook page of winning that bet.
Yeah, as you should.
Yeah.
Took off my shirt and everything. I was celebrating, baby.
Yeah, come on.
There's no shirt. What? You don't, I mean, it ain't like you see these titties.
Hey, there was no service to be rendered, therefore Colin didn't need a shirt or shoes.
Oh, man. Well, I mean, Colin's on one right now, so all I hope, dude, is like this goes well for you for a while, because that's a big gain, and I just don't want you to get punched in the mouth anytime soon.
No, I've already taken basically all of it out and put a bunch into stocks, moving some to 401k.
Nice.
Paid off some things that really just lowered my credit card that I didn't need to. A bunch of boring stuff, but I have New York coming up that I'm going to. That's in a month from now, basically.
Family again?
What's up?
Family again?
It's going to be family, but also going to watch the Avs play the Devils in Jersey. So
very nice.
Me and my homeboy Brandon are going out there, which will be dope.
No, you mean
another center?
That's the Avs playing the Rockies.
No, not quite. Not anymore.
No, not anymore.
Unless they decide, if they both were their throwbacks and the Avs were their Deeks and the Devils were their Rockies, that would be dope. I would love that for that.
Did they ever do that? Give them throwbacks for Rocky hockey?
The Devils have worn the Rockies before.
Really? That's dope.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I don't watch
it. You can look it up. They didn't. It was like one of their special ones. 1 year, like this was a few years back, but they had the Rockies uniforms.
I love it. Okay.
I swear I've seen the Devils throw them on before.
I believe you. That sounds great.
But yes. So I've done some fun stuff, or I will be doing some fun stuff with it. But I basically took it all out, and I'm still, man. I'll tell you, I was one rebound away from another $200 yesterday. I've been.
Every time Nick types anything, it's just.
Yeah. But the streak has been good, and I told you guys National Tight End Day was last Sunday, and that's all that was. It was all tight ends: Tucker Kraft, Evan Ingram, Mark Andrews.
Kincaid.
Kyle Pitts. No, I did not bet Kincaid. Kyle Pitts, Cade Otton. And I can't believe who I'm forgetting in the other one, but that's all right. Sam Laporta. Sam Laporta, by the way, who caught a touchdown pass, not from his quarterback who threw for 68 yards in a game where they scored like 50 points. He caught a pass from his wide receiver to get the touchdown for me. Talk about things going right for you.
Right.
That happened. The last two that I needed were Tucker Kraft and Jackson, and then Evan Ingram in Jacksonville. Jordan Love goes out of the game. Oh crap, we're screwed. The Jacksonville Jaguars fumble at the 5-yard line. Malik Willis throws it to Tucker Kraft because they're at the 5 and they don't want to run it from there because they'll run it on 2nd and 3rd down. Kraft gets an easy touchdown. Beautiful. Christian Kirk goes down for the Jaguars. Brian Robinson Jr. goes down for the Jaguars. So all they have left is Evan Ingram. I'm like, he's the only one he's got to throw to, and they're down. They have to throw. First drive, they go 3 and out. I'm like, crap, I'm screwed. I should have cashed out at 600. They get one more drive, and I get a cash out offer of like 250. I'm like, screw it. We're letting it ride. And a minute and a half left. Evan Ingram goes up in the end zone to catch it, and I take my shirt off. I go wild. I record $10 in the 9,000. I'm just going nuts.
Of course. It's fucking nuts.
Other than $9,000. And then I got an email. I was like, where's my money? Where's all my money? Oh, we have to hold it for taxes. I'm like, okay, cool. Well, when am I going to get my money?
Brian, where's my money? Where's my money, Brian?
2 hours later, it was all in there, and it was withdrawn like 5 hours later.
Oh, they just do like one of those like W5s or whatever now.
Yeah, W6, W8, whatever. Yeah, they had to withhold, like I said, 24% of it for taxes. But cool, I don't have to worry about that come tax season. Whatever.
Yeah, that's huge.
So I found it, kind of. So the Devils wore reverse retro jerseys in 22-23. In 2022, in collaboration with Adidas, blah, blah, blah. The Colorado Rockies inspired jersey pays homage to where the team played prior to moving to New Jersey. The jersey pattern follows the pattern of the original Devils red, white, and green uniforms worn from 82, but replaced with the Colorado Rockies colors.
It's just like what the Avs did in a lot of ways.
With the Nordiques ones.
Yeah.
I'd forgotten they had worn that, so that's my bad, but I found it.
That's cool.
They look kind of cool. I would buy one. I probably won't, but I would buy one.
You know,
I don't know any
$1,000 on one.
If they have one there on the discount rack, especially if I don't really care about the name, I might pick it up. I highly doubt it, but
I really think of like, who would I get? Like, I don't know if I know enough Devils players to really like decide on a jersey. You know, like I've got my my Nordiques.
You have the brothers that play out there. I
mean, I got this one.
The Hughes brothers, I believe, play together out there. Jack Hughes, Nico Heidgren.
Just get a Patrick Warburton.
You could.
Said Patrick Warburton?
Yeah.
I'm in.
Yeah, because he always wore it on the TV.
He wore the Devils jersey in Seinfeld.
You could get the Cooter. You could get the Cooter.
Oh yeah.
Cotter, Cotter. Cooter.
Yeah, I know who you meant.
Cooter. Call him a Cooter Pounder with cheese. That sounds good though. I'm in.
So
speaking of winning
this weekend. Yeah, something happened this weekend. The Buffaloes are in the top 25 again.
Whoa.
And this time they earned it. They weren't just given a spot in the top 25 because Deion Sanders was their coach.
Were they in the top 25 last year?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. They were in the top 25.
They lost to Oregon. No, 2 weeks.
Wow. Okay. All right. I forgot about that.
They beat CSU and then lost to Oregon. They were there. Yeah.
Okay. I remember that first loss. Or was it USC? I know they did lose to Oregon.
Or Oregon and then USC.
Fuck, that's crazy. But yeah, I remember that they lost. I didn't think they were actually ranked. Wow. Okay. Yeah. I guess I was just more surprised that Air Force was at number 25, and that was where my focus was.
Air Force was good last year. They were fun. Well, they were good until they played at Mile High Stadium and caught the Broncos. They are the ones who took away the Broncos' bad juju.
There it is.
There it is.
Yep.
Oh my goodness.
Thanks, Air Force.
You know what else? You know what else I remember from this? Well, we can go back to it. But I got my dog last week on National Tight Ends Day also. Right. That's how I remembered everything that was going on because I was driving back from Colorado Springs picking him up from the adoption place. Oh yeah, I have to remember next year to place a bet on these tight ends to score because they just went off last year. That. And so me getting the dog started the good trend, and Air Force took away all the bad juju by being terrible against Army.
Yeah,
right. It was Army. It was Army or Navy? Army.
Navy.
Right?
Navy.
Army. I don't know.
No, I'm pretty sure it was Navy.
But that's the thing.
Either way, they sucked a mile high.
Yeah, I remember
they sucked all the bad juju and kept it with them for the rest of the year and brought it down to Falcon Stadium.
Yep, it's the dog. When I was a kid, my dad and I got she was a Rottweiler Doberman Lab, and we named her he named her Xanadu after one of his favorite Rush songs, because you can't really name a dog 2112.
No,
so we named her this, and then right after that, Rush had their first concert ever at Red Rocks, because it's a small venue and they felt bad that they couldn't have as many fans there. So they always played Fiddlers with the curfew, and it sucked. So this is the first time they ever played Red Rocks for their 30th anniversary tour. My dad and I called into the Fox and won front row. It was supposed to be tickets by the soundboard and meet and greet passes.
Nice.
They ended up moving us to front row center because they gave away too many soundboard seats, because the soundboard is where the best acoustics are, even though you're not actually that close. It was fucking amazing. So I've got the picture of me and my dad and Geddy Lee and Alex Lifeson.
Oh, wow.
Because Neil Peart didn't like, he was such an introvert. He didn't like meeting fans.
Yeah.
He's always like, I can't be the godlike figure that they think I am. And it's like, no, you already are. All you got to do is just be yourself and hang out.
Shake my hand and walk away.
That's
What a rush that must have been.
100%. 100%. Like, on a scale of A to YYZ, it was a hell of a rush.
Hey, and yeah, dogs. I mean, speaking of dogs, CU has the dogs out there playing the damn game. Like, they are. I mean, they're playing team football.
They are. They finally got
this
put
up
together.
before. Yeah.
Well, and I think that I think we mentioned it before too. It was just a matter of the team coming together and finally clicking, because the offense would do one thing and defense would do another, and it was a tale of two halves. It felt like they were so close, but they just kept missing that one play that brings them all together. And now they've finally found a rhythm. They're a team now. Like you said, they're dogs. And I mean, add to it too. Crap, what's his name? One of the defensive guys just got the number one.
Too glaring.
Oh, the you have to earn it. I will look.
I thought that was kind of cool too. It just came into my. I just remembered it as I was going over the good things that they've done the last month and a half.
Just keep getting. Honestly, it's been kind of most of the season, except for the one glaring loss. And the Kansas State was just a heartbreaker. But like, they've just been steadily improving.
But they learned.
It's been nice. Exactly. I think it was one of those that obviously hurts them come championship game time and playoffs potentially, to quote the great Jim Mora. Playoffs. But it's just been a steady improvement kind of all around. The running game has looked better and better, not necessarily like super good or anything, but you know what? It seems kind of good enough. But then again, that you have to take into account who they've been playing. But yeah, man, this been nice, steady improvement to see.
Well, I mean, who they've been playing, they hung tough against Kansas State. Cincinnati was 6-1, who just put a freaking beat down on Nebraska the week before. I think that they've actually played some decent competition. UCF, now they're in a free fall, but that was all after the Buffs in there and spanked that ass. You know?
Like at the time they were a good team. You could even credit the Buffs for some of their downfall.
Yeah, and this isn't like the Broncos getting a cakewalk with teams that are half full of injured list players. Like these are actual squads that are playing good football at the time, and the Buffs are going in there and being competitive, and obviously winning the games besides the K-State game and Nebraska won, but they've been competitive throughout the whole games, and it's not like they were having. I mean, they need a miracle comeback, but they haven't needed. It's been back and forth. It's not like they've had to have crazy comebacks, I guess I should say. Well, they're down 30 points and the defense is playing soft, and all of a sudden they're back in the game.
Yeah,
which I think this CU team is totally capable of. But that's one thing on the defense is that they're playing really good football and keeping them in this game. That's the thing with this offense. If the defense can just hold their own a few times, the offense is going to do their job eventually for the Buffs, because Shedeur, Horn, Hunter, they're all, Augustine, like they're all going to be fine. They're all going to be fine. They're going to figure out ways to move the ball down the field and score points.
Well, that K-State game was a total team loss. That wasn't just one person, one play. That was terrible use of timeouts, terrible use of challenges. That was terrible offense, terrible defense. Can't hold on to the football. It was a total team loss. And when you have a total team collapse like that, everybody at that point has to look in the mirror and start with the man in the mirror. And then go from there.
Asking him to change his ways.
Thank you.
LaJohntay Webster is the wide receiver who's now number 1.
Thank
Webster.
you.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, the guy he transferred in. He's a 5th-year transfer. Actually, I want to say where is this? I think he went. Did he go? No, he went to Utah. No. He went to Florida Atlantic. Yeah. And then transferred in this year for his final year. And he was, I don't know where all this is, but he was FA. He had like 1,000 yards receiving last year also.
Oh, wow.
But he did damn good for them. I remember hearing those stats. I can't remember them exactly. I'm sure if I read through this bio a little bit more, it'll tell me. But
yeah, he was the big transfer.
But he has come in and really stepped up. And the thing, like, look at the weapons on this team. Webster, who was a number 1 wide receiver at another Division I school last year, came in here and is now, behind Horn, behind Hunter. Number 3. He's basically like the 4th option on this offense, even behind Shadur.
I'd say he's 5 because the who's the big kid, number 14? I'm trying to remember his name. The really big body, he's like 6'4".
I'm on that thing. I'm scrolling down. Will Shepard.
Yeah. So this kid's 5. Will Shepard's fantastic.
Yeah, he's another graduate transfer, 6'3", 205. Jeez.
Yeah, dude. Like the Broncos need to be scouting all of these other CU receivers. We're out of the Travis Hunter sweepstakes for sure. Yeah. But are we out of the Jimmy Horn sweepstakes? Are we out of the LaJohntay Webster or Will Shepard? I don't know if all these guys are even coming out of the draft this year. How many are going to stick around or whatever? But man, I want to keep some of these guys in town.
There's a freshman. One more, Nick. Redshirt freshman right now, Cordell Russell, who's 6'4", 210. That's coming up. Like this team has a lot of. I don't know how talented he is because I haven't done a deep dive onto the CU recruits or the backups or the guys that they have coming in next. But Prime has really done a great job of bringing in guys that can play and will play and giving them the right time. When you think of the Cormani McLean situation and how he got cut basically or asked to leave CU and Prime granted it, whatever it was. He got cut. He left, anything like that. He went back to Florida. You haven't heard his name at Florida at all. He had to walk on. Yeah, he made the team, but I heard last that he was in jeopardy of possibly losing that spot again in Florida and not having it. So this is Prime knowing when to cut bait, and we can talk about his recruiting and the tactics and using the portal. But the guys that are playing really are the best guys, and we've seen that growth from last year to this year. And yeah, he's brought in some guys, but there are still players from last year who have grown into playing time this year. So I think that as much as he has used the portal, I don't know if he's getting the credit for developing the guys that he has.
Well, and you can't be mad at him for doing what he's doing either, because it's not illegal. Is it creative? Is it annoying? Yes. It sucks when somebody finds a loophole and they take advantage of it, and it sucks to be you. You didn't think about it. But it is what it is. And until he's doing something illegal or against the rules, play on, play it.
Exactly. I love it. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, all I was going to say is, as I mentioned before, I worry with the transfer portal. The one thing, this team, it took 2 years to come together. It did. Last year, you could tell they were a bunch of individuals. And yeah, they still have those recruits, but come a possible playoff run for this team, which I didn't think was possible at all. I didn't think they would.
I expected a bowl. I didn't expect a playoff run.
No, but come that time when they're playing some of the teams that are not just the one and done, relating it back to college basketball, are these the Rick Pitino, one and done type of kids that are going to come in, play for a year or two, and then go once they're eligible to go to the next level. Or is he creating something here with some of these guys where they will hang around and they trust him enough to increase their draft stock by staying with him for some years? Because I think Prime is the type of coach that will say, hey, yeah, you're going to get drafted, but you stay with me one more year and you'll probably be a better draft pick. And we're not going to hang you out to dry. Or if someone's like, this is their chance to get drafted and he thinks they deserve it, I don't think he's going to hold on to these young men in order to just better himself. That's the sense that I get. I really feel like if he thinks it's a guy's best opportunity to go to the pros, he would tell him and he would let him go.
Well, I mean, you can tell even his press conferences, you can definitely tell he is a no BS guy. He'll tell you what he thinks and why he thinks it, unless you're CBS. And in that case, he'll just kick you out of his press conference. But I mean, again, it goes to show you where's his emotions on his sleeve. So you know what you're going to get. And if you think you're going to come in, play 2 years and look at a high stock draft, he's going to tell you yes or no. And he's going to say, keep working.
No, I mean, and then it's up to the guys to listen.
Mm-hmm. And Peggy gets to go to a bowl.
What?
Peggy gets to go bowling.
I didn't hear what you said.
Oh, yeah. Peggy's going bowling.
Yeah, you kind of cut out. Oh, yeah. But, we can't just do any bowl. Peggy wants a nice bowl.
Yeah, she got to have a nice bowl. She a lady. She a classic lady.
Yeah. We got to get Peggy a private plane, too. We ain't sending Peggy over there on no regular plane. I can tell you that much right now. That was a great quote from Prime.
That was a great quote.
Made me smile.
Into the PJ.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Peggy on the PJ.
Do you think she's going to have a bowl of the red stripe candies, the peppermint candies in the plane?
I hope so.
Yes.
Or
Werther's originals?
Yes, that's
Yep, the Werther's guy. I'd rather have the Werther's.
Oh, I'd crush the Werther's. I do.
Those are fire. Yeah,
Well,
my grandpa did have those.
Maybe she's a Lifesavers mint.
Oh, the Lifesavers, the little 5-pack, right?
Yeah.
One of the few times where the original product is actually worse than the stuff that has come after it.
Well, I think it kind of reminds me of my grandma too, so that's why I love Lifesavers mints.
Yep. Yeah, there was a little dish on the thing. It had the Werther's Originals and the Lifesavers mints. Sometimes other stuff, they'd have the Halloween candy up on the little thing where you couldn't reach it until you asked for it. They'd give it to you every single time you asked for it, but you had to ask for it.
Oh, man.
Just one time.
Well, speaking of growing, the Broncos now are going to show us whether or not this is a team that truly is growing, or if this is just, like Colin said, just a collection of prime opportunities that they took advantage of because of injuries plaguing their opponents. I mean, this week they faced an opponent who decided that they weren't good enough in the receiver corps, so they decided to trade for Deontay Johnson. I'm like, oh, okay, so teams can go up in skill too instead of just down. Is that allowed?
But Nick, you're looking at this the wrong way. This team that's going up in skill has real Super Bowl aspirations.
Yes.
And so if you're trading for if the Broncos were to be trading for Deontay Johnson, I believe that's at the detriment of what you're trying to develop with Bo Nix, Franklin, or excuse me?
The Ravens traded for Deontay Johnson.
Yeah, the Ravens. Who did I say?
Broncos.
No, but I said if the Broncos were to have traded for Deontay Johnson.
No, I didn't hear the if.
That's what I meant to say.
Okay,
then they're doing it at the detriment of Troy Franklin and Bo Nix's relationship and play on the field. Marvin Mims' development. Even if you're looking at what Devon Vele has done, it's not that Deontay Johnson isn't talented, and that this a 5th round pick, I believe, it was a 5th or 6th round pick. That would be great to have here in Denver. But the one thing that I go back to is that his time in Pittsburgh was difficult when he didn't have a quarterback that was consistent. And so I think Lamar Jackson is just off script enough that Deontay Johnson won't give up on plays. But I think Bo Nix is too young of a quarterback to handle a player like that or an attitude like that. So as much as he would be a playmaker for this offense and be a good asset, I think it could be a detriment to where this team is trying to go. And the Ravens are in a Super Bowl window. That's the biggest difference. They're making
team.
The Chiefs just made a damn move.
Yeah, like the fact that you're on a winning team will make you a lot less pissed off about not getting the ball as much.
Yeah.
Whereas on the Broncos, like, I think fit makes a big difference. That's why I've been so sad that Tim Patrick was gone, because his skill set was a great fit. But yeah, it would be the detriment. And Troy Franklin has come on as an actually decent receiver, which at the very beginning of the year, we were a little bit unsure of. We weren't sure if he was going to make it on the field, maybe at all this year. And you know what? He's been kind of fantastic considering that. But yeah, I don't know if I feel like it's other positions that really need to be addressed more so than receiver.
Well, and I was looking at this from a matchup standpoint, not a the Broncos need to make a move standpoint. Because
I know, but that's now we're on that topic, so now I'm thinking about it.
I was just making sure that you guys knew where I was trying to go with that.
Clear in the air, yeah. Now they have an extra receiver, which that's something, But at the end of the day, I feel like the first week he's there, he's not going to have a great grasp on the offense. He's not going to play a ton right away. They'll probably use him a little bit, maybe some decoy stuff, or just hey, go run a 9 route, fucking throw it deep. But I don't expect to see too much of him quite yet. But watch him come out and pull an Amari Cooper and have him tell him to play, during the fucking call, and then he gets a touchdown.
See, I don't know how much though. I kind of think that he'll actually play a bigger role than you think this weekend, especially because Surtain will be covering Zay Flowers most likely. And when you look at him going to the Ravens and Deontay Johnson, the Ravens know Deontay Johnson because they used to play him twice a year when he was in Pittsburgh. So they know what worked, what he did well there. And it's not like other teams didn't know what Amari Cooper did well, and him going to Buffalo was like, oh, well, this works for you. When you have familiarity, you also know what he did to beat you all the time or how he beat you. So besides for touchdowns, because he got tackled that 1 year at the 1 yard line every single game.
Oh my God, that was hilarious. He was a good fantasy receiver too, without scoring a single touchdown.
Not a single touchdown. But as the Ravens team that played him twice a year, what he did to beat you. So you draw plays like that for him. So I think he will have more of an impact. I don't want to downplay his impact this week. I think he'll definitely play more than what DeAndre Hopkins played with the Chiefs in his first game.
Yeah.
And I believe he'll play more than what Amari Cooper did with the Buffalo Bills in his first game. Especially with Lamar Jackson injured, you're going to need guys who you can rely on to catch the ball because he might not be able to run as much. It's leg and back issues is what I read for Lamar Jackson. So you're going to throw him out there. Even if you have to tell him the route, he's unfortunately, he's better than probably our third cornerback, whoever's going to be put on him. And even if they know the route, he'll probably run it pretty cleanly and catch the ball.
How dare you besmirch the name of Jaquan McMillan?
I don't know.
No, yeah, he's been the third worst also, even though he's been like the nickel back, sadly.
This is how you learn to get things, Joe.
Look at this photograph. I couldn't not make a Nickelback joke. I'm sorry, guys. Yeah. So did you guys know that Chad Kroeger from Nickelback, he used to do nativity scenes a lot, like his plays. He in different towns he would go like around Christmas. He's got credits as being like, different characters, different guys here and there. He's Joseph one year. He was actually Jesus, but he never made it as a wise man.
Because a poor man stealing either, I guess.
Oh, I apologize for nothing.
Did that joke remind you?
It did. You know how it reminds me?
It reminds you of what you really are, Joe.
What I really am. I also like picking up Mr. Pants and just going, look at this kitty cat.
So Nick, you brought up Deontay Johnson. What trades would you make, or what trades are you willing to make right now for the Broncos? Like, what are you looking at that you would want them to bring in?
Yeah,
I don't really do. Like that's where I sit, because you brought up Deontay Johnson, other teams making trades to improve.
I said, I brought it up as a matchup thing. I didn't bring it up as the Broncos are making a move.
You said that the Broncos, got to like teams can improve. So, should the Broncos should also improve, right?
Yeah. Well, I was posing the question just based on just matchup but
okay. Well,
I don't know.
You're on the spot now.
It's
quarterback. Just kidding.
Payne Fallon-Nicolosi.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I'd really have to sit down and like actually look at where. I mean, the problem is this is a young team that you don't want to get you don't want somebody too senior to be coming in unless you're looking at a Super Bowl run, and you need just that guy, just that old time leadership to
the Neil
kick
Smith
them in the ass. Yeah. I mean, as young as they are right now, you kind of want them all to start. You want to get a core together, figure out who your core is, and then you can add pieces to that starting in the off season, and going from there. I mean, you can never have too many linemen. I mean, if I were going to trade for anything, if you have some available assets, get a lineman.
Well, Cam not Cam Jordan. From the Jaguars, they just traded. Cam Fleming. Yeah,
no, Cam Fleming was our guy. No, who was you're right. It was I'm just thinking of the league. Cameron Jordan. But yeah, no, they just traded him to Minnesota.
Yeah, who lost their
Dersher.
Yeah, Durka.
Christian Dersher.
They just why is this not up here?
Yeah, I can't remember his name either. But yeah, that's still a possibility. I still think, maybe Troutman had a big game once. That's cool, but like I still feel like the Broncos need an actual receiving tight end threat somehow. And I don't know if that guy's available. Like, we've heard the talks of Dawson Knox for months now. And I haven't seen him do much with Buffalo, and there's probably a reason for that. But I'd like to try something like that. You saw Evan Ingram have a career resurgence with Jacksonville after being like really talented with the Giants, but never really putting it together. So it's not impossible, but
Cam Robinson you were looking for?
Cam Robinson.
There it is. It wasn't good. Yeah. It was the Cam part that was the correct.
Baltimore
gets Deontay in a 6th, and Carolina gets a 5th.
Yeah, they traded him for a 5th.
Yeah,
to move down in the draft, whatever.
Yeah,
but yeah, like they lost Darisaw, and he was he's given up 4 sacks, which is tied for 9th in the NFL. Some of these guys are out there, and I'm still kind of at the spot of what's Courtland Sutton's value? What other guys can we trade that are of value that might not be as key of a piece coming up?
I mean,
instead of bringing someone in, because what I'm looking at is you talked about offensive linemen. That's a tough ask to get an offensive lineman from one. And I don't know what the trade stipulations were between the Vikings and the Jaguars, but I'm assuming they gave up a decent amount to get him there. You saw a team that started off 6-0, then after Darisaw went down,
they didn't give up much.
They
got Cam and a conditional 7th for a conditional 5th.
I mean, I see that's something that I don't know why the Broncos. I mean, unless they're really just set on keeping Bulls at left tackle, but
his contract's almost up though too.
He renewed, right? He renewed after COVID to 5 years, right? So I think he might have 1 or 2 more years left. I'm not sure, but this is where I say even the guys that you can trade that might have some value. Pittsburgh could still be back on the board with Courtland Sutton. Possibility to move him there because it's about getting ammunition for the draft to move up. If we see that Cam Robinson is getting a 5th round trade or from one team to another, and he's been a pretty solid left tackle. Like where else? I would say, I mean, center hasn't been great.
No,
unfortunately for the Broncos,
that's
Cush would have looked nice.
That's a slippery slope though too. You start messing with the snap. Quarterback gets used to a certain set of butt cheeks and.
Well, I'm talking about offseason, not in the middle.
Oh, okay.
Not for the Broncos.
This is the last year of Bulls deal.
Is it okay? The last year. I mean, I mean, you can't really bring him in without having included Bulls. Maybe then you added draft picks. I don't know. But I understand not wanting to mess with the offensive line in the middle of the season without injuries.
Yeah, because it's been
But
solid.
I'm more talking about getting ammunition for the draft and maybe not bringing in players because you're right, Nick. This isn't a Super Bowl team. Like they could make the playoffs. They've been on a hell of a run.
Playoffs.
But it is still, in my mind, pretty fluky. So
Pretty Doug fluky.
I don't know. I mean, sometimes fluky works though too.
Well, but it
And
only
they're
works.
getting
Joe
better.
Flacco won a Super Bowl.
What?
I said Joe Flacco won a Super Bowl.
Not his rookie year though. But yes,
True.
that's true. But no, it's kind of similar to the Buffs. They're steadily improving. I don't think it's going to get to the point to where they're going to be a contender either. But they could be one of those teams that gets into the playoffs. Maybe depending on the matchup, you can steal a game. That would be a lot of fun. That would give people a lot of hope around here. That would give the team a lot of hope. And then, like, especially if they do what Colin says and get a few more draft picks, because now your draft picks are going to be worth less. But you know what? At that point, it's worth it because you have the young quarterback. You have the building blocks. That was always Colin and I's problem with trying to go for the playoffs with the Russell Wilson Broncos is like you're never going to be able to get out of this rut. And you're never going to really get far into the playoffs either. But now we finally have something worth building around that, like, yeah, I'm down. Let's go. Let's go.
Thanks everybody for tuning in. By the way, we appreciate you. You're tuned in Undrafted Uncensored on the E5280 Sports Network or one of the many different social media platforms we have. Thank you for tuning in.
Yes, appreciate y'all.
And so I don't know. I mean, how do you guys feel about Sunday? Like, I mean, different right now.
What? Well, I didn't hear the last part you said. I heard you say, "How do you feel about Sunday?"
I'm indifferent right now. Like I don't expect them to win, but I don't expect them to lose. It's just like I can't put my finger on it yet.
This is going to be another one of those where the Broncos win and shut down Lamar Jackson. You know what I'm going to point at? It's him being injured. It's them playing another guy, and this is the star guy of their team at less than full strength.
How funny would it be if the Broncos went all the way to the Super Bowl and each week their opponent had a major player that was injured?
That would be the ultimate fluke way to win everything. It really would.
I would definitely call it a fluke.
Yeah.
But we would love that. We would wear that fluke on our shoulders as a badge of honor.
So, that's the way that I'm going to react to the Broncos do beat the Ravens. It's like, well, Lamar Jackson wasn't full strength. But even then, I mean, indifferent. I don't know. I mean, I don't want to see the Broncos get blown out, but I have a feeling Harbaugh hates the damn Broncos. He does. I don't know. What?
He hates his brother too.
He hates his brother too, but he hates the Broncos. And I don't know if this stemmed from that suit. I don't know what it was, but he always has something against the Broncos. So I'm scared of Derrick Henry running the hell out of the ball. I'm afraid of Justice Hill out of the backfield also because our linebackers, while they've played above expectation, they're still not great. And I don't want to see them in coverage against a guy like Justice Hill. No. Deontay Johnson will catch anything thrown his way if it's in his area, and I don't think Surtain is following him around. So Zay Flowers, I'm not worried about Zay Flowers. This is
bench him in fantasy this week, folks. If you got Zay Flowers,
take his under in the betting market.
100%, yeah. But no, I think you're right. I think it's the Broncos' biggest loss because I feel like those first two was just growing pains. They couldn't really do anything, and the rain game against still a defense that thought they were good with the Jets. It's very similar to the UCF game, where that's just at the time they were a lot better, and they thought they were good, and they've kind of been spiraling. It's not because they beat the Broncos, but I'd love to say that. But like, it's their biggest loss was the Chargers. What did the Chargers do? They ran the ball down your fucking throat. They didn't let up. They didn't stop. It didn't even matter the running style of the running back, who was more of a speedy, jukey. It didn't matter. Just keep doing it. Just keep getting points. So that's what worries me, is another team that will just pound the rock down your throat with Derrick Henry and Justice Hill, who can still carry the ball just fine, but also catch you out of the backfield and hurt you that way. Like that is what worries me, is their ability to stop a power running style football team. Because also that's what the fucking Kansas City Chiefs do the very next week.
Yeah, I mean it's a rough week, like we said. This is where we Broncos put up or shut up, and it shows us where they are in their growth from beginning of the year to now.
I guess I will say this. I kind of hope the Broncos get their butts whooped. I guess because then I think that really would. For what I think needs to happen here with this team is then I think that they would be more open to letting some guys go and acquiring draft capital for this next year. I think if they win or they keep it close, much like last year, not benching Russell Wilson, they'll keep riding it out, even though things aren't great. And so, I don't want the Broncos to get their asses whipped, but I think the best thing for this team in its future is for the Ravens to completely outclass them in this game, and the Broncos to say, we still have work to do. We're not there yet, but we're on the right path, but we're still a ways away, and we got to do some other work.
Wait, hold on. Did Colin just suggest a moral victory?
Yeah, I heard that.
Well, no, it's saying we're still a ways away, but there's work to do, and we can't do it with the guys that we have here, which is what I'm saying.
I heard moral victory.
That's exactly what I heard. Yeah, this sounds like someone who's floundering and trying to is getting defensive about
it's
suggesting.
We're on our way with the other wins, but look, we're not there yet. That's what
it's I'm like saying. In The Office when Michael Scott suggests a pyramid scheme, and he's like, "No, it's not a pyramid scheme. I swear, you just get a bunch of lower people to make money, and then they send it up to you, and then you can send the money up." And
it's not a moral victory when you lose and you realize that you need to get rid of some guys in order to get better.
No, I completely agree with you. Victory. I just love it. Yeah, it's not a pyramid scheme.
It's not a moral. How is it a moral victory by losing and saying that you need to get rid of the guys to get better?
You've established who you need to get rid of. So time to move on. Deuces. Here's your paper.
You can even go on a run because of that.
Tuesdays. So your proxy card won't work after Tuesday night. See ya.
We're gonna need you to pack your stuff up and go.
Well, I mean, it could be worse. You could be 2-2, and the only 2 games you've won have been courtesy of overtime on the East Coast because you don't want to play the first 3 quarters
against terrible teams.
Yes.
Man, and I just can't choose the right day to bet Jokic.
You're a little mad about the triple-double last night?
No, I bet him the night before, and then I didn't bet him again because I was like, oh, it's a back-to-back after an overtime game. Why would I do that?
Because they're going to do it again.
I had $10 to win $2,700 because I was working the World Series game last night. So I was like, all right, we'll hang out and watch some Nuggets. If Christian Brown gets like 2 more points because he's hit the over every single fucking time, and if Jokic hits 1 goddamn 3, I get $2,700. But no, those things didn't happen. Russell Westbrook hit the over. Cam Thomas, random Brooklyn Ned, who happens to be the guy that scores, so sick. Like all the things happened. Gordon. Yeah, everything was great. And then, Jokic decided, fuck it, I'm not going to take a single goddamn 3 because fuck you, Joe. You don't get, do not pass go, do not collect money. Yeah? What'd you get?
So close right now.
Don't even say it until it happens.
I'm not going to.
But the Nuggets struggles away from home. Maybe there's a lot of pressure, especially Ball Arena is. You got to be playing championship level there. And so I think they're feeling some pressure at home right now for sure. I think the Avs feel, maybe not the Avs. I think Georgie feels it when he's in net at home. And Eustace did also.
Well, he didn't look too bad the other night.
No, but I still think that there's a lot of pressure especially to start the season off when really, I'm trying to think back of fast starts for both of these squads, and it's hard for me to remember really fast or big starts by the Nuggets or the Avs, going out and winning, 5 of their first 6 or 7 or whatever.
No, yeah,
and maybe I'm like misremembering.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it is hard to remember that stuff too.
But it just doesn't feel like either of these squads are fast starting teams. And as fans, we have these expectations. And we, for the Avs, it's one like, okay, well, Nichushkin's coming back now. Ross Colton is out. I mean, I saw a thing where all the Avs forward players, non defensemen, there's like 6 out of 9 of them that are injured.
Yeah. Well, in Middlestats supposed to get like Nichushkin and someone else when he comes back. So that third line alone is going to be nasty. And then
unless they're forced all to play the first line.
Yeah.
Like I said, Ross Colton is out now 6 to 8 weeks, who was playing on the first line.
Yeah. We are going to be Ivan playing on the first line right now with McKinnon, which is going to be a lot of fun.
I just like for both of these teams, at least the Nuggets aren't injured like the Avs are.
Yeah.
But they're both just not playing good at home.
Knock on some fucking wood, Colin.
I think some of the difference too, though, is it would be one thing if they were playing like this, and we were the only ones groaning about this. But like you look at Malone's press conferences, you look at Bednar's press conferences. That's not just fans crying foul because their team lost. This is reflective of the players that we see every night on the ice or on the hardwood and know what they're capable of. And, when the Avs start 0-4 and the Nuggets start 2-2 and the only 2 victories were on the East Coast in overtime games, we know that team's better than that.
Yeah.
And I mean,
for sure.
Westbrook's clearly looking to stay in Denver for a while because he's been shooting a lot of bricks, except for last night when he got
he went to the hole. He's nice.
If he builds it, he will stay.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. He will come.
So, but you know what's really been coming around lately? Collins wins.
This is the victory formation.
All right, boys, here we go. Best play in football. 6 right tight diamond victory on 1. Break.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, let's jam.
The Pick'em segment, proving that Colin Zanker is the most humble man in the history of time. Least. Featuring Nick Archuleta, wishing he was somewhere else. And Joe Goodwin, just kind of winging it.
That's right. This is the victory formation where the man who turned $10 into $9K gets a chance to take over the show with all the fun stuff as we make real bets with fake money and track it throughout the year. The last few days picks. We started off with Dodgers versus Yankees in Game 3. I was the only one smart enough to choose the Dodgers in that one, as Nick and Joe both lose $10. I won $22. Hawks versus the Thunder. The Thunder demolished the Hawks in Oklahoma City to the tune of the Thunder were a minus 450 favorite in that game. So Joe, you won $2 on that one, a total of $12.22.
Wow,
There you go.
Maybe our jinx is gone because we all chose the Golden Knights to beat the Flames, and they did 5-0.
nice.
At minus 165. That's a $16.06 profit for all of us. I got Dak fooled, and in the Cowboys versus 49ers matchup, the 49ers came out in front where Nick and Joe both got that correct. And the Giants and Steelers, Nick chose the G-men, and Russell Wilson and Najee Harris had a different idea for that game as the Steelers came away victorious, where Joe and I got that correct, 14-08. Joe went 1, 2, 3, 4-1 this week. Nick went 2 and 3. I went 3 and 2, so meaning Nick is our big loser on the week. You made 62 cents though, and Nick is still in second at 809.06. But my $32.14 that I won brought me up to 806.32, $2.74 away from you, Nick. So watch out.
Crap.
And Joe,
man.
Joe 4-1 this week, won 77.54, taking over first place again, 864.66. So we are all over $800 for the year with these simple $10 bets.
The Ocho.
let's get into the games that we are picking for this week because we're going to be recording, obviously, this weekend. So I had to make a quick pivot on some of the games that I had down originally. We are going to start things off with some hockey. Nick, you have the Oilers and you have the Predators facing off tomorrow night. Who do you got?
Who's favored?
I don't know.
What?
I don't. Like I said, I had to pivot. Oh, I guess I can add this one to it. Okay, beautiful.
Jesus Christ.
Oh,
A minute one in, Avalanche already losing. I said
Yep.
Pred.
I am pulling that up because like I said, I had to make a pivot because I was thinking that we weren't going to have a show until
no worries
after the weekend. Oilers. Well, it looks like Nashville is favored at -130. I don't know the Oilers line, but Oilers are 4-5-1. Predators are 3-5-1. Nick, who you got?
Predators.
Preds. Joe, who you got?
Let's take the Oilers. That's Wah, right?
No. Wah is the New York Islanders.
Islanders. That's right. Well, fuck it. I already said it.
Oilers.
That's without McDavid.
That is McDavid. Yes.
Yeah, one night more. Yeah, we're doing it. Yeah.
Okay. I am also taking the Predators at home, one of the coolest arenas that I've visited. Next, we move on to Friday, the Lightning versus the Wild. This one is in Minnesota, no line for it, but the Lightning are 6-3-0. The Wild are 6-1-2. Joe, who you got?
I'll take Tampa. They still have good defense, and they still got what's his name? Kucherov?
No, he's an Av.
Kucherov. I forget his name then, but yeah, the one guy.
They got some guys.
Yeah, they got that one guy. I don't remember his name.
I am going to stick with my home team.
Right?
Vasilevsky. I'm going to stick with my home team trend here and go with the Wild in Minnesota. Nick, who you got?
Because they scored so quickly against the Avs, give me Tampa.
That was kind of a bad omen, wasn't it? Them
Yeah.
scoring that quick and then it leading to this. All right. Next, we move on to the WNBA, to the NBA.
The WWE, what?
NBA, where Thursday night basketball, we have the Suns taking on the Clippers in La La Land. I am going away from my hometown team, and I'm just taking the Suns. Nick, who you got?
Yeah, no, it's Kucherov.
Clippers.
Okay, I was right.
Give me the Clippers. You know, their logo that looks like a hop.
Yeah, the hop guys. Joe, who you got?
I wasn't listening. I'm sorry. It's Clippers and who?
Suns, Clippers in
Suns.
LA.
Those were two very disappointing teams.
Yes.
Suns.
Joe takes the Suns. Next, we move on to Thursday night football. We have the Houston Texans heading to New York, and the Jets. Jets are favored at -125 over the underdog road Texans. Nick, who you got?
Give me Houston. Oh, what they're thinking.
Joe, who you got?
I mean, yeah, I feel like Tank Dell could get a little bit shut down, but Sauce hasn't had the same sauce recently. I think I'm with Nick on this one. I'm going to take Houston.
This is one of those where Vegas is screaming at you to take Houston and don't do it. I am taking the Jets because, yeah, everything in my first instinct intuition was the same thing. Take the Texans. Why are they favored? What's the reason? There's something behind it that the Jets are favored at home. Don't ask me why, but I'm going to go with Vegas and take the Jets in this one.
I'm not going to lie. I was thinking the same thing after I said the Texans. I thought to myself, this is a burn.
There's something going on there. I don't know what it is. We don't know yet. Obviously, this game is tomorrow night.
Well, it's not too late, Nick, if you want to switch it up.
I'll stick with my gut for now.
All right. Next, we move on. Oh, no. Actually, that game is Saturday at 6 p.m., so we cannot move on to that because we will be
legal.
recording before that one happens. So we'll save it for Saturday.
Yeet.
You know, so we got a slate of 4. Like I said, I had to do some bouncing around and figuring stuff out there because I realized that we have our second show this weekend and these games won't be over until.
These were all good picks. They all kind of felt like closer toss-up games. Sometimes it's like, not necessarily, but like
sometimes it's Notre Dame Navy.
Pick them.
Notre Dame Navy.
Win games.
Yeah.
Or sometimes it's Atlanta Hawks versus the Oklahoma City Thunder.
But there was only one of those. That was still, but yeah, I was looking at you guys like, you realize the Hawks had the number 1 overall pick, right? And the Thunder are like really fucking good.
The Hawks were playing, but the Hawks were playing good basketball.
Yeah,
they were playing pretty good. They were, Trae Young isn't,
so,
nice Trae, my guy. Yeah. All we're hoping for is that the Hawks somehow do just bad enough that they want to trade Bogdan Bogdanovic because the Nuggets just need a shooter. I think he still makes too much money. You'd have to trade Zeke Najigan like 4
All right, Joe, let Nick go watch the game.
We got 2 more minutes. We're fine.
Nick wants to go. We already know what's going on. Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but I know Nick wants to get away from this.
Well, I appreciate that, Colin. Thank you. 2 outs in the top of the 4th. I've been relatively good about maintaining most of my control. I do have 2 legs left in my parlay that I need to hit.
Fuck yeah.
I do want to say you're welcome for having this on Wednesday, so you could at least have one game while the World Series was still going on.
Yes,
that you didn't have to pick and be wrong about.
I do appreciate that. We're gonna go night driving.
No, we're already into space. You just don't have your earphones on.
Oh, that's right. I don't have my headphones on. Thanks everybody for tuning in tonight. We appreciate you. Make sure to like, subscribe, tell your friends, tell your mom's friends, and tell Yankees fans too, because we're awesome and we're gonna win.
Tell Yankees fans to keep the hands to themselves.
Right? That too. I mean, there's always idiots. There's always idiots. For Colin Zinker and Joe Goodwin, I am Nick Archuleta. This has been Undrafted Uncensored. Thank you, Michael Spillin, and everybody over at e5280sports.com for hosting us, having us, and loving us. And thank you to Pikes Peak Sports Cards down here in the Springs, where I'm at. Thank you for sponsoring us. We love you. Also, have a wonderful night. Happy Halloween.
Boom.